Welcome, welcome on this glorious Sunday. I mean, I'm sitting up here. It's chilly here in H-Town. I got the wood in the fireplace, the oven on, and the heat trying to keep from being an ice cube. This is Spit Face. I'm here with the always classy. I don't know, she might be warm, but unless she's sassy, host of this show, the first lady of sports star, the one and only Cheryl Smith. Cheryl, I hope you got on your snuggies.
Yeah, man, it is cold here in South Florida. I mean, it's been years. I think they said the last time temperature got this low was 2010. It's around 30-something, 37 degrees, man. This is too cold for me. Man, and the poor iguanas are falling out the trees. Oh, my God.
I heard about I guess they get cold and they just tighten up.
They go into ice hibernation. That's what it's called.
And they hibernate on it. They fall out of the tree hibernate. We hibernate. Man. Well, hey, hopefully Mother Nature will take care of them little iguanas,
They're not dead. They just in hibernation, as they said. They just froze.
Yep, but they're going to pop on back, Yeah, all right, okay. All right, now we're going to check out the music this week on Shout Out. We are featuring performances from Kika Morelan, where she find her shining star, get the, cold feel of the mute button, and today is not the day. First Lady, we're ready. What you say?
Each week we try to figure out what is going on in the sports world, not the plays of the week, more like the players of the week. Are they trying to tell us something? So we ask, what you saying? Fly, little birdie, fly. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. So I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let the spirit carry me. I want to fly right into the future. The little birdie known as the bus flew far away from Notre Dame and into the arms of the NFL and a Hall of Fame career. In the process of living his pro football career, there was one thing missing, a college degree. He made a promise to Mama, and his children got to see him live up to that promise. Do we need more men like Jerome Bettis in the NFL? Marvelous Marvin Hagler, rest in peace, Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr., and the Steve Miller Band are asking, what you saying? Oh, my goodness, yeah. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, do we need more men like Jerome Bettis in the NFL? No. We need more men like Jerome Bettis in the world. Forget about the NFL. we need them. We need more men in the whole world like Jerome Bettis. I mean, come on now. I mean, that is so special for him to do that. His mother is now deceased, but he is still going to keep his word to his mother. And I just want to just read some of the quotes Jerome Bettis said. He said, quote, because I'm so behind the times, I mean, I'm a dinosaur in the sense of school. I don't know where anything is. I'm struggling with the technology. And then he said, in my immediate family, I will be the first person to graduate from college. But most importantly, I have two children. For them to see Dad finish a commitment that he set out some 27 years ago, for me to complete that, I think it says a lot to them. You're sure right, it does say a lot to them. But you know what it says a lot? Because it tells you that Jerome Bettis is an epitome of your word is your bond, his integrity. I mean, he made that promise, and he is going to keep his promise. You know, obviously he's not the first athlete to go back and get their degree, and many of them have gone back and gotten their degrees. And I've always admired men who do return for their degree. And that's why I always frown upon against the proponents that say athletes should not be able to turn professional from high school. They need to go to college. You can always go back to college, but you can't always be a professional athlete, you know? So he's an example of somebody who chose to be a professional athlete, and he knew you only get one shot at being a professional athlete, so you need to take that shot, and Jerome still is going back to school. So I really believe, that's a big thing. And, I mean, these people that want to make these players stay in school, they don't have to stay in school. School is always going to be there. It's a matter if you go back to it. And Jerome has proven that you can go back to school. So, he knew his livelihood was going to be an athlete, and he really did shine as an athlete. He had an illustrious career. I mean, he was only 5'11", but he was a bus. He weighed 265 pounds when he was playing. But he played for 13 years. He rushed for almost over 14,000 yards, and he had 91 touchdowns. Jerome Bettis, I mean, like I said, he is a fantastic individual, and, I'm so proud of him. We support him, and, that's what you need to do. Your parents and when you promise your mother, and like I said, she's deceased, but it's still weighed on his heart that he had never completed that commitment that he made to his mother, and he's still going to do it after she passed away. I think that's a great man. What you saying about this, Spitface?
I didn't want to step over the fact that he was Walter Payton Man of the Year.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Which also, you get that, that ain't the glamour award. That's because you did something for somebody beyond your own little greedy self. So, all of that bespeaks to his character. And, another thing that sticks out is there are people who are in their 30s, in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and they would like to go back. Well, I won't say go back. They'd like to go to a college or learn something new. And what it demonstrates is that, hey, Jerome had to have a lot of courage, because when you put yourself back into a learning environment, most of the people that's there in that environment are probably going to be way younger than you, and that's just how it is. Because now something that stood out for me was he was asked, what's the difference between now and then? He said, the difference is I really want to learn. Mm-hmm. I really want to learn it now. And you can take learning for granted. Especially, you went to elementary school, high school, now you're in college. It seems like all you're doing is learning. But you can kind of like take it for granted. Well, I learned, and but do you really learn it? Do you really learn it? So, that comment stood out. And again, I have to hand it to the brother. That takes a lot of courage. And it reminds me of my own mother. She went back to college in her 50s and got her master's degree. Now, she didn't have the bachelor's degree, so she had to get her bachelor's so that she could get her master's. And she did that in her 50s.
Wow, that's great.
So, things can be done if your intention, if you have your mind line up with your intentions. Because if that's what you want to do and have, then it's a matter of lining up your focus so that your actions is consistent with your intentions. And, I agree with the First Lady that, hey, if you got, some opportunities are once in a lifetime. Others are available to you ongoing. They're available to you ongoing. Now, you may, you have to make a choice. Is it's available and ongoing, is that's what you want to do. Now that's where, because it's there. It's there, it's available and ongoing. But that once-in-a-lifetime opportunity is not the same thing. Once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, I can get a $10 million contract, and it's not requiring me to sell my soul to the devil. It's requiring me to use my talent and make sure that I don't let the devil start telling me how to behave, you know. But it's called, hey, well, I'm using my talent, and because of this gift, you know, I can make this $10 million, you know. But it's not saying I got to sell my soul to the devil, because all things are available. You know, we had, you know, what you gonna do? What's the timing gonna be? So, Jerome, brother, I am inspired. I am, you know, it like I said, I can just imagine. Well, I got to see a shot of him going through them college hallways, and you go, here's this big Hall of Fame guy. You know, football, big, you know, all of this. And my man meek as a mouse. You know, I'm like, but you know what? The bus was never, you know, extremely, like, out there anyway. You could always tell he had that bit of humility and humbleness, and that's why you get the Walter Payton Man of the Year. You know, because obviously you got more in your mind than the dollar bills. So Deshaun Watson, you can learn something. Learn something. You know, stay out of the damn strip clubs, massage places. You know, hey, you know, step up, be a better man. And that's all I'm saying. Yeah, you're right, per se. We need more men. And I don't want to understate now. It's been a whole lot of ladies who, you know, like I said, my mom in their 50s, 60s, whatever, they say, hey, I always wanted that degree. You know, and the kids maybe done raise their grandchildren, and they say, I always want for me. So, you know, I'll step over that.
Okay. Well, like you said, he's so deserving of any accolades he gets. And, you know, he like you said, he was a true professional. And as you indicated, you're right, to get that Walter Payton Award, you definitely have to show some humility and you know, helping out other people in the world. I mean, you know, other than yourself. So I think, you know, he's so deservedly. So we'll see how he does. I know that technology, they say he only uses paper and pen, where everybody's using iPads. But
well, he graduates this year.
Yeah, so he's in, and the thing is, he's going back for a business degree, which, you know, a lot of athletes, that's another reason why they need to go back to school, because, you know, they're going to have all that money, so they need to be able to manage the money. You know, NFL players at one time, you know, like basketball players, they were broke, so I'm hoping the newer generation of players are a little bit more smarter with their money than the ones in the past, okay? All right, Spitface, over to you.
All right, don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years, rocking my peers and putting suckers in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom. Explosion, overpowering. Over the competition, I'm towering. Wrecking shop when I drop these licks that'll make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare, you better move. Don't ever compare me to the rest that'll all get sliced and diced. Competition paying the price. I'm gonna knock you out. Huh? Mama said knock you out. Huh? We are talking about the knockout punch to Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Curt Schillings, and Sammy Sosa by the sports writers voting for the Baseball Hall of Fame. David Ortiz was voted in and will be inducted this year. Is he a sign of relief? Are there better days ahead? Are players from the steroid era being unfairly ostracized? I have to check with the producer to ask them why they give me a word like ostracized. Would the fans vote these guys in? It seems that the sports writers who have been voting no don't even cover baseball. What's up with that? Would the Veterans Committee have a different take on their induction? Leroy Satchel Paige, Walter Buck Leonard, and James Cool Papa Bell are asking what you saying. You know, First Lady, I'm, if I look at it, Barry Bonds, before the steroid, whatever, era, issue, whatever you call it, was already, could have quit baseball and he would have made the Hall of Fame. He already had them kind of stats. And in one way, and, I'm looking at it that baseball really didn't have no kind of clear policy during those times. And as far as, quote, cheaters in the Hall of Fame, oh, come on. There are, it's folks in the Hall of Fame. They done admitted pine tar. They done they done admitted how much cheating that they done did. Now they got out of the game, and was able to retire and all. But so it ain't like folks in the Hall of Fame got a clean slate on whatever they did, and and I go. One, a vague policy that they took advantage of. Yep, they took advantage of, but they ain't the first ones to take advantage of something that's vague. It's up to the institution to make it, hey, these are the clear rules. But if you make it vague and I can take it and it might be, might not be, hey, that can be how it goes. But I think that given the fact that most of the sports writers who are saying, no, don't actually cover baseball, I don't get why they get a vote. Just because I'm sports writer, such and such, such and such, but I don't even really cover that sport. I cover football, but I don't cover baseball. Why do I get a vote? And most of the ones that are not voting, they are not like the old grizzled vets. Been around, been covering baseball 20, 30 years, and, they know baseball is. Those are the ones who voting yes. Put them in. Put them in. So it's like, hey, y'all just got, that came in with these prejudices. Yeah, prejudices. And I ain't saying they prejudice against a particular type of player, but the ones who, hey, that was the era. Now, I think that they should be in. I don't think they need an asterisk. We can put a little. No, that was that era. There have been some, I'll just say, dark eras. And I don't even know if I really want to call it dark, but I'm just going to say it like that. There have been dark eras for other sports. Basketball, football, all of them have had their little, whether it was strikes, things that, made the game look like, man, is this, and hey, and that's the era that they played in. So I do think that the Veterans Committee will ultimately let them in. Now, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Kirk Schillings, Sammy Sosa, whether or not they cheated, steroid, all of that, PEDs, is still not the same as gambling on baseball. And that's where I draw the line, because there are those who go Pete Rose, all of that. No. And not only because he did it, it's the attitude that went with it. Like, I got these numbers, you should ignore my behavior. So there's, no contrition. Well, hey, you get what you get. First lady, David Ortiz was a bad boy. He got in. Everybody liked him, boy. They were like rushing to throw him into the hall.
Well, David got in, and, there was some rumors about him and supposedly, I thought he failed the test, but then the commissioner said there was much and nothing to do about that. So that's the reason why, Ortiz basically got into the Hall of Fame. Smith says my opinion has changed regarding this situation. I always thought the players from the steroid era were being unfairly ostracized. And, I was listening to First Take, and Stephen A. Smith came up with a good point. And I'm paraphrasing what he said, but he had said Major League Baseball benefited from these players, in particularly Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire. You remember when they were battling for the home run championship, and in that one year, pretty much they single-handedly saved baseball because there were really declining numbers of people watching baseball, and their battle had non-baseball fans watching baseball. And I know firsthand because my mother, rest in peace, she was watching the Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire battling it for that home run. They had put a lot of their games during prime time, and they really it was national news. It wasn't just sports news. It was national news. So these writers basically, the Major League Baseball benefited from all of that activity. And people knew they were supposedly using those steroids, but anyway, they benefited from it. So the thing that happened, though, you had said Barry Bonds had definitely already been a Hall of Famer way before he used steroids. That's true. So was Roger Clemens. And I think what happened, because of the fact that the Major League Baseball exploited Mark McGwire and Sosa, that really made, to me, Bonds dabble in the steroids because he was doing everything the right way with his hitting, fielding, and power, yet he wasn't getting the notoriety that these players were receiving. And I think that's what happened to Barry Bonds, and I think that's when he started using the steroids because he needed to, obviously they were getting a lot of attention. And I said my opinion changed because you want to know something, Spitface? I decided to say, let me look at these rules for the Major League Hall of Fame and what it could and who does the voting. So the voters are part of, it's called the BWAA. That's the Baseball Writers Association of America. So it's a 340 elected members, and of which 268 players, including 268 players, of whom 135 have come through the BWAA ballot. So former Hall of Famers are on this committee. And this is what it is. Only active and honorary members of the Baseball Writers Association of America they're part of the people that can vote. And they have to be an active baseball writer for at least 10 years to be able to vote. So you have to be active for 10 years. So I understand what you're saying, that people are not voting on them, maybe not voting on them who are active now, but you have to be active for 10 years. And you must be active as a baseball writer or a member associate for a period beginning at least 10 years prior to the date of the election in which they are voting. So you will have people voting that are not currently actively writing for baseball right now. So because it is a 10-year span. So I just wanted to clear that up. But let me go over the rules for the voting. And this is to be the most critical part when you listen to these rules. Voting shall be based upon the player's record, playing ability, integrity, sportsmanship, character, and contributions to the team on which the player played. I understand now why the writers are not voting them in. Doing steroids does not show integrity, does not show sportsmanship, and does not show character. That's it in a nutshell, Spitface. The rules that they must vote upon doesn't really allow them to vote for these players. I mean, and it really started me to look at other Hall of Fame's criteria for voting. And for basketball, it doesn't have anything listed about integrity, sportsmanship, and character. And the NFL, all they say is every candidate is carefully scrutinized. Well, what the hell does that mean? That could mean a whole bunch of stuff.
What kind of socks did dude? Oh, he wearing it. Okay, yeah, he is. You figured out the secret. You figured out the secret socks. So
carefully scrutinized. So to me, the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, they need to change their wording for the voting criteria because it appears. I didn't look at hockey because I mean hockey is hockey, but when you're talking about basketball and football, they don't look at that. That's not looked at. So it doesn't mention anything about integrity, because in that case, there'll be a whole bunch of people, like you said, spitface wouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, I don't know when these rules came into play. I don't know if they later on got changed, because as you indicated, a lot of people who were in the Hall of Fame, they weren't always of good character and integrity, and we know that from the older people that's been in the Hall of Fame. So they may have recently changed, maybe within the past 20 or 30 years, changed these rules. I'm not sure. So, but I really think if Major League Baseball want these players in, they really would have to change their criteria because based on that criteria, I don't think you can put them in. That's why I said my opinion has drastically changed. Because when I looked at the rules, I said, well, you can't put them in based off of what the voting criteria is. So, but I believe they will get in eventually, probably through obviously it's going to have to come through the committees because they're already lost their eligibility. So it's going to have to come through the committees. So maybe one of the committees will put them in, but they'd probably be old. They're going to be old men probably before they get in. So that's all I got to say about this spitface. But baseball needs to change their voting criteria.
First Lady, it's just like with the Supreme Court. It's the application and interpretation of the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because when they integrity, character, all of that is there's an interpretation.
Well, right.
And how it gets applied. So I do think that they, because if that interpretation had been applied years earlier, I'll just say when they were actively playing, a whole bunch of people wouldn't have made it to the Hall of Fame. So, you got to kind of wonder who they got on the court. Like the court we got, who they got on the court. First Lady, please take us to break.
Stay tuned. Coming up next, we have a performance from Kika Morelan on Shout Out Part 1.
The music flows in from around the globe to get a shout out from the panel. First Lady, I can't wait to hear the music from Kika Morelan.
Right. On Shout Out, we feature new independent artists who are looking to find their shining star. If we like what we hear, we'll give the track a shout out. If we don't like it, we hit the mute. Today we are featuring Kika Morelan out of I can never pronounce this word. I'm sorry. How do you say that? What is it? Washington. Spokane, Washington. All right, Spokane. They say Kika Morelan is a vocalist, executive producer from the Pacific Northwest. She's from Spokane, Washington. Her latest album is a mixture of easy listening, adult contemporary styles with pop, Nashville musicians, arrangers, and producers who have worked with a long list of major names. All right, I'm waiting. Okay, this is going to be interesting. Let me hear Kika Morelan. Let's hear What Makes You Stay.
Look at me, I'm in a place I never thought I'd be. I don't have the strength to fight anymore, or reason not to leave. So tell me why I keep holding on. Something I just cannot see. What makes you stay when your world falls apart? it's not in your heart, at the end of your rope, when you can't find any hope, you still look at him and say, I just can't walk away. Tell me what makes you stay. I'm not afraid of living alone. I was alone before he came, and I've been in love many times before, but this time's not the same. I've always been the first to say goodbye. Now it's the last thing I can do. What makes you stay when your world falls apart? What makes you try one more time when it's not in your heart? At the end of your rope, when you can't find any hope, still look at him and say, I just can't walk away. Tell me what makes you stay. When it goes this deep and feels this strong, I can't convince myself this love is wrong. No, no, no. So at the end of your rope, when you can't find any hope, still look at him and say, I just can't walk away. Tell me what makes you stay. Tell me what makes you
Okay, all right. That's Kika Morelan out of Spokane, Washington. I don't know anybody from Spokane, Washington. She's the first person I even knew came from Spokane, Washington. But anyway, I'm going to shout it out, Spitface. You know, it was a little bit slow in the beginning. Her timing seemed to be a little bit off. What I mean by timing, she seemed to be just a tad bit out of tune in the beginning of the song, but she got it back together after that, and the song, you know, came alive for me as far as her musical performance. So I'm going to shout it out. What you doing, Spitface? Hitting the mute, or are you shouting it out?
I'm going to give her a shout out. I thought she transitioned, you know, she built up everything for, you know, to take you along, you know, for the ride, make you stick around. She made you stay, and really well produced. Okay. You know, really well produced. So, hey, okay, up there in Spokane, Washington, shout out.
Okay. On part 2 of the shout-out, we'll have another performance from Kika Morelan. Is that the sound of my favorite underwater friend? Because my friend is in Miami, Florida. It's time for Flip It. Come on out here, Flipper.
All right. What'd you say, Flipper? Flipper says that he is reporting in live from Cuba. He said it was too cold in Florida. He said he had to go 100 miles further south because it was too cold in Florida. So he said, look, I'm right out. He said he's right outside the international waters, to make sure that they don't, shoot missiles at him or anything, But Flipper said, hey, y'all, he got to wait till it warm up. Time for Flipping where I host defend the point and then flip the script and defend the opposing view. Last week we asked, after all is done, will there be only one black head NFL coach? Now, teams have hired new head coaches. None of them black. Yet. Defend. Byron Leftwich was a serious candidate for Jacksonville, and others are under serious consideration. A black coach will be hired, maybe even two. First Lady, I get to some of my brothers and sisters might be going, oh no, the Bears, not only, they go hire somebody with nowhere near the pedigree of a list of qualified black assistants, coordinators. What's up with that? They're the Bears. They do that kind of stuff. That's what's up with that. and I can't be too mad at the Bears because the Bears, out of their history, has hired a black head coach, and that black head coach took them to a Super Bowl. Now, whatever, the record win and all of that, he did. Now, the Bears have had a bunch of white coaches. Only one of them got to the Super Bowl. Now, he won it. Okay. So, hey, they got they can say, well, look, we didn't dibble, we didn't dabble, we didn't have success, but, we want to try a little something. So I get him a pass. Now, the Giants, hey, look, black head coach, be glad you didn't get that Giants position. You know that you did not want the Giants. No. You want some other team other than the Giants, So, that's how that go. Now, First Lady, no one is not under consider. They haven't ruled out. So we don't need to get all anxious because they haven't already hired a black head coach, okay? So calm down. Your hand got to be on fire. First Lady, defend.
Well, yeah, it's amazing that the first two coaches out of the box didn't hire is, what's his name, Hackett and Eberflus. Hell, I ain't never heard of them, to be honest with you. I don't know who they are. I mean, I know the Giants hired the Buffalo Bills defensive coordinator. He was heavily recruited too, and it seemed like everybody want to hire Kellen Moore. But what about Brian Leftwich? I mean, Brian Leftwich, to me has had a more sustainable offensive coordinator record than Kellen Moore. If I'm not mistaken, Kellen Moore just became a offensive coordinator, was it last year, 2020? After they got I think either 2020 or 2021. He hasn't been one that long to be, moving up in the ranks. Now, the only good thing about it, yes, they already hired 3 spots already. The only good thing about it that I believe there's, 6 or 7 more vacancies? So the fact that there's so many vacancies, they have to hire a black person. I can't imagine that they're going to go with all these vacancies, probably one of the most vacancy for head coaches in a given season, that they do not hire at least one black head coach. I'm quite sure the Don, Roger Goodell, is on the phone with those owners of those teams trying to push for them to hire a black head coach. I have to believe that, because I'm going to tell you something. It will look real bad if they don't hire a black coach with all of these vacancies. I think it was a total of 9 vacancies altogether. Look, that will look really, really, really bad. So, I mean, we're going to be patient because, like I said, there's still some vacancies out there, and a lot of black coaches a lot of coaches are being considered. Brian Leftwich, Flores, who was let go by the Dolphins,
Leslie Frazier.
Yeah, Leslie Frazier. Now, I don't know, after his team couldn't stop somebody in 13 seconds, that's really a bad reflection on Leslie Frazier. I mean, I hate to say that, but who knows? He's still a darn good coach because they did have the number 1 defense, or I think it was the number 1 defense in the NFL last year. So he's still a good coach. So anyway, we shall see, and we're going to be patient. But like I said, if a black coach is not hired, this is going to really look bad. All right, Spitzy, that's all I'm saying.
All right, well, let's flip it and defend the opposing view. Black, step back. Brown, stick around. White, you're right. If the Bears and Giants are indicators, if you ain't white, you ain't right. You know, First Lady, I think that the Bears and the Giants have kind of tipped their hand of how the league owners are going to play it. And they're going to play it by not hiring any black head coach. They will not hire a black head coach. And what they're doing is this thing where it's like we're going to reach below, the prime coordinators and go down a level. Because, see, we want to do this new thing, fresh thing, and, it's almost like when they take somebody out of college and make them a head coach who's never had any NFL experience, when there are plenty of black coaches that do have the tons of NFL experience and success proven, but we're going to go get this guy out of college who ain't showed he can do jack squiddly in the pros. See, so now they kind of got a little wiggle way to, hey, look, it's not that we didn't want a black head coach, but see, we doing this thing, So, First Lady, if the Bears, and it's like the Bears could have had a bear come back. My God, you could have had Leslie Frazier, a bear. Not only a bear, 85 Super Bowl winning bear. Because Leslie Frazier was part of that 85 Super Bowl. And what that would have done for the city, would have done for the Bears organization, to bring a coach like that. And when he was up in Minnesota, he was whooping the Bears' butt. So you got somebody that's, calm out. The only other person I could have seen the Bears going for that other than Bieniemy would have been Sean Payton. If they had worked out some kind of voodoo, hoodoo, who-dat, and got Sean Payton and made a deal to get him to come, then I could say, you know what, hey, take him, But First Lady, they are already setting it up so that they will not hire a black head coach. What you saying?
Well, the Rooney Rule is supposed to help black coaches. The Rooney Rule has not helped any black coaches. Matter of fact, there were more black coaches when the Rooney Rule was implemented. When it was implemented, there was like 3 black coaches. Now we're down to 1 black coach, and it's the same team who fought to implement the Rooney Rule. So that just really tells you the situation when it comes to black coaches being hired in the NFL. So the question is, why they don't want to hire black coaches, okay? I mean, when you look at life in general, let's think about black professionals in major corporations. We don't get hired as a black professional in big-time corporation jobs to lead companies. So it's going to trickle into every aspect of life, and that includes sports. And that's what's going on. These owners, for some reason, they don't feel comfortable hiring black people to lead. I mean, but, you need to look at this. You got 75% of the NFL is black. Well, who would lead better? Another black person to lead black people. I mean, that's just what I think. I just think that's common sense to me. To be honest with you, it's almost like the plantation mentality. You're going to have somebody white leading black people. I hate to say that. I don't. I just damn said it. But anyway, it's a sad situation of what's going on in the NFL. Now, some of the problems with the NFL also is you got to look at the pipeline to really hiring head coaches. Most head coaches come from either being offensive coordinators or defensive coordinators. And that's another issue that needs to be looked at is those type of jobs. There need to be more black men or black women now, or white women too, because let's look at all minorities if you're going to look at it that way. It's going to be a while before the NFL really start hiring female coaches. So anyway, let's get back to the problem. Black coaches are not in these offensive coordinator positions. Now, probably I think this year we may have had more and more blacks in offensive and defensive coordinators position, but that is the pipeline to being a head coach, unless you the darn New York Giants when they hired their coach. I think he was a position coach when he got hired. He even skipped being a coordinator, the one that they fired. I can't remember his name right now, but he's gone anyway. Huh?
No, go ahead first, Auntie.
Yeah, he's gone. He's completely gone. So they realized they made their mistake. But, so you need to really get the black coaches in those pipelines. And owners need to feel comfortable with hiring black head coaches. And when you hire them, give them a chance. That's another reason. When you do hire them, you only give them 1 to 2 years, whereas you'll give a white candidate 3 to 4 years. You let them finish out their contract. So there's a lot of discrepancy when it comes to this situation. But, and like I said, if they don't hire at least 1 to 2 black coaches during this particular cycle of coaching positions available, it's going to be awful, and it's going to be ridiculous, and it's going to be damn right insulting. That's all I'm saying, Spitface.
Insulting. First Lady, please.
Yeah, it's going to be insulting. Okay. It's just getting, I don't want to continue, but it's just getting to the point of being ridiculous, Spitface, and I just don't know how they're going to resolve this. But the only way to resolve it, I really think, now I'm going to be finishing, I just really think the commissioner needs to come out and say something. That's the only way it's going to resolve. All right. Stay tuned. Up next, the funnies and our favorite underwater friend on Flip It Part 2. Welcome back. You are still listening to Bras, Panties and Sports. It's time for the funnies. Spitface, over to you.
First Lady, sometimes in life, you know that you know that you have a self-inflicted wound. You know what? I know I did this to me. I can't even blame nobody. It was me. Because it's self-inflicted. You kind of wish I wish I could at least say that. Nope. Burglar. An Oak Hill community couple discovered a thief in their home Saturday. After a man told a joke and heard a laugh upstairs. I go, that must have been a hell of a good joke. I want to know what the joke was. Like, here you are, you a burglar. You know you got it. You know you in your OJ suit. You know you all undercover, and you listening because you might have to make a break, and you laugh. Damn.
That's funny.
God, even Flipper laughing. The water splashing everywhere. It must be time for our favorite underwater friend. It's time for flipping. Over to you, First Lady.
The word is whether or not Jimmy G gets to and eventually wins the Super Bowl, the 49ers want to kick him to the curb. If the 49ers lose to the Rams, should they keep Jimmy G? Panel defend. All Jimmy G has done is win, win, win. If it ain't broke, why try to fix it? Jimmy G is not Jared Goff. Spit-face defend.
You know, I have been, First Lady, I have been tempted to, I have been tempted to go get a Jimmy G doll and rub it and go to Vegas. Because the man just wins. And I'm looking, I think he only lost one postseason game, and that was the Super Bowl. So I'm like, man, why, why all this Jimmy G hating? Go with a winner, the brother a winner, and he is not Jared Goff. Jimmy G can make some plays. Now, for some reason, I think that, Jimmy G just got something about him where that team wins. And it's like, do you really want to mess up the chemistry? And who you going to get better? Who you going to get better? The man wins. Leave it alone. First Lady, defend. And he's not Jared Goff.
Well, you said the man wins. Well, you know me, First Lady of Sports. I'm going to provide you some statistics to show you he wins. He has a .71% career winning percentage. He's ranked, believe it or not, Spitface, 5th in the NFL history, only behind Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Roger the Dodger Staubach, and Lamar Jackson. That's how he wins. He's ranked 9th this year in passer rating proficiency, 98.7. 6th in completion percentage, 68.3. And second in yards per attempt, 8.6. And he's done this year, all throughout his career, and he does win. I mean, win, win, win. I mean, let's look at it. He has a career winning. He's 37-15 in his career, and he's only lost one postseason game, 4-1. So you're right, Jimmy G. Whether you want to call it luck or not, maybe it's not luck. Maybe he just knows how to win. They say that about Tebow time. You remember Tebow? Tebow knew how to win, and then Tebow, for some reason, just, he was never a good passer. But Jimmy G, I don't know if it's luck. To be honest with you, for someone to consistently have good numbers, it can't be too much luck. It's Jimmy G. Jimmy G. He's a winning machine. That's all I can say. Whether it's luck or not, he can win the game. All right, Spitface. Let's flip this. We're going to have to flip it because we're talking about Jimmy G. Panel defends. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Jimmy G is one of the luckiest players on the planet. He is not a top-tier quarterback. The 49ers need to try for Aaron Rodgers. Spit-face defend.
Jimmy G, I like Jimmy G because I like Jimmy G because he's a winner. And he's able to win without being able to throw the deep pass accurately, And because if you look at the top, you got the Deshaun Watsons, you got the Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, you have Dak Prescott. Now these guys are setting TD passing records and keeping they teams at the top of their division. And Jimmy G is like one of those guys who, you win ugly. Whatever way it takes, you're going to win the game. But that takes a lot on your team, because then, he fits in that strategy. He fits in there because, so it's like, and there aren't a lot of people, other QBs that you say, oh, go get him to replace, or let's go draft somebody, because he fits and works in there. But they need a breakthrough quarterback, and that would be somebody like a Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron, as much as he really, I'll just say that he's shown much love to Green Bay, I think that they done about plateaued. And he's looking at, Aaron Rodgers is looking at, what, I'm going to get us in the playoffs. The team is going to get in the playoffs. Okay? And we're going to fall short again. And I need a change of pace, where, I can spark this career, because I don't want to go out like Brett Favre, where I got that one Super Bowl ring. That's it, and a whole bunch of stats. Now, Dak Prescott might go for all them stats because he get all sorts of stats and ain't had no dinner, But the 49ers need to try to get Aaron Rodgers. That's what I'm saying, First Lady.
Okay, they need to try to get rid of Aaron Rodgers. Everybody need to try to get Aaron Rodgers. I mean, let's look at Jimmy G. Oh, Jimmy G. Every time Jimmy G throws the ball and passes the ball, it's a circus. You don't know whether or not his team is going to catch it or is going to be intercepted. And then he does throw the ball. He does throw for interception. I mean, last week against the Packers, my goodness, he had thrown so many bad passes that it was just unbelievable that the Packers never intercepted the ball. I mean, several of them would have been returned. At least I counted 4 passes that could have been a pick six. And the thing with Jimmy G, he's ranked number 25th this season with 29.4 pass attempts per game. 25th out of 30-something teams, 32 teams in the NFL, something like that. And the reason why is because, and that's the reason why his passing rating and all that is good, because Kyle Shanahan doesn't want him to throw the ball. He doesn't trust Jimmy G that much. The offense for the 49ers is based off of running the football, not passing. Running the football, not passing. And that's because of Jimmy Garoppolo's passing issues, because sometimes it doesn't work out. And if you give him, let's face it, if Jimmy G passes as much as Patrick Mahomes, my goodness, he wouldn't have all those great numbers. We know that for a fact. So that's the reason why his numbers are great, because he doesn't pass the ball that much. He's a very consistent thrower, a la Tua Tagovailoa, because he's the same way. He's a game manager. That's one of the things that the Dolphins are having issues, because they said they want to air this offense out. But no, he throws very short passes to get the first down. That's how he operates. That's how Jimmy G operates. I'm telling you, Kyle Shanahan doesn't trust giving Jimmy G that particular passing freeway that Patrick Mahomes has. The Chiefs, they pass the ball. They don't run the ball. That's some of the problems with the Chiefs because they always passing the ball. Now, I have to give credit to Stephen A. Smith. I do use him a lot here, but he does have some good takes on First Takes because he always says the 49ers win not because of Jimmy G. They win because of everybody else. Their defense, their running ability, that's how they win the game. So, they win despite Jimmy G. So that's what I'm saying. And the 49ers, y'all need to try to get that bad man Aaron Rodgers. Because if you had Aaron Rodgers, then you really could have a great offense that you guys deserve, that Kittle deserves to be able to go down the field and somebody that can air the ball out. That's Aaron Rodgers. And you could have a combo offense. You just can't be all on the run. So anyway, Jimmy G, you are the luckiest man in the world. That's what I'm saying. All right, Spitface, please take us to break.
On the other side of the break, we have another performance from Kika Morelan on Shout Out Part 2. Please stay tuned. Now, where'd I put my Jimmy G doll at? I need a little luck here for these picks coming up,
You are listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. It's time for Shout Out Part 2, the picks, and the finale. The music flows from around the globe to get a shout-out from the crew. Spitface, over to you.
We have another performance from Kika Morelan. DJ, let's hear Feeling Good.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sunny in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on a tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean, don't you know? Butterflies all having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when day is done, that's what I mean. This whole world is a new world, and a bold world for me. For me.
Feeling good. First Lady, what's the verdict? I think we may have First Lady muted.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. No, I didn't mute her. No, let's not go there. I'm going to shout it out. I think she took that song and she really kind of made it her own. It's hard to make that song your own because it is sung a particular way. But I thought she did a great job of it. So I'm definitely shouting it out.
Okay, I'm giving it a shout out. It was kind of interesting, as you said, hearing it, but she did a classy job, so I'm giving her a shout out. Now, that is the end of shout out. If you liked what you heard from Kika Morelan, check her out on Old Grumpy Radio Network and Reverb Nation. That's Kika, Kika Morelan. All right. If you'd like to be heard or have any comments, please send your emails and tracks to content@oldgrumpyradio.com. First Lady, over to you.
Okay. Who is going to wear the crown? We are time for our NFL picks. Let's go over last week results. All right. Everybody ended up in the positive, but one person did have a better score than most. So let's see. Dizzy Mac came in last with 2 million points. Spitface, you had 3 million points. But man, oh man, I had a great week. Doing the divisionals, I had 10.5 million points.
Whoa.
So, yeah, I was on fire. So anyway, let's go over our current results. Our current standings. All right. Dizzy Mac has 4.54 million. Spitface, you're at 8.69 million. And I'm at 13.5 million. So I see the producers, they really went crazy with those over and unders. So we got a lot to go over. So let's hit it. Okay. Bengals versus the Chiefs. Spitface, I'm going to ride on with the Chiefs. They are going to be back to the Super Bowl. I'm going with the Chiefs. Dizzy Mac is going with the Bengals. Spitface, who do you have?
It's one of those where like you used to not want to go against Tom Brady, and the Patriots. The Chiefs are kind of like that. You don't want to go against them. But I saw some little, the Bengals, they scrappy. And they should lose. And but you know what? I'm gonna roll with the Bengals. I'm gonna go with the Bengals. I'm going for the upset.
You're going with the Bengals. All right. I mean, it's gonna be a good game. I think it's gonna be a wide open game. All right. 49ers versus the Rams. All right. Dizzy Mac is going with the 49ers. Spitface, who do you have?
The 49ers seem to have the Rams' number. I'm going with the 49ers.
You're going with the 49ers. Okay. I'm going to go with the Rams. I mean, let's face it. The Rams gave up all them draft picks, got Odell Beckham Jr., got, the winner of the Dancing with the Stars from Denver. What's his name? The defensive line. Anyway, you know who I'm talking about. He won the Dancing with the Stars. Von Miller. Got Von Miller. So they went all in, and they went all in not just to win the divisional championship. They went all in to get to the Super Bowl. So I am going with the Rams. All right, so let's get to these over and unders. Bengals, over under 30 points. Spitface.
Under.
I'll tell you. I'm going to go with under. I'm with the Bengals. Dizzy Mac has over. 49ers, over under 24 points. I am going with under. I think this is going to be a close game. And we know Jimmy G ain't going to, they can rush for those yards to get touchdowns, but they're not going to be passing touchdowns. So I'm going with under. Dizzy Mac has over. Spitface, what do you have?
I'm going with the under.
Okay. Chiefs, over under 35 points. Woo! Dizzy Mac has under. Spitface, what do you have?
I'm going with the under.
Whew, 35 points. That's a lot of points. That's a lot of points. If one team can put it up, it's the Chiefs. But, is it going to be a blowout? It's going to be 35. I'm going to go with the over. I think they can get 37, 38 points. All right, Rams, over under 24 points. I'm going to go under, because like I said, I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. Dizzy Mac has under. Spitface?
Under.
Under. All right, Matt Stafford, over under 1 interception. Dizzy Mac has over. Spitface, what do you have?
Under.
Under, huh? Excuse me. I think he has, I think he's going to be, one interception. He's probably going to have 1 interception. Is he going to be perfect against the, I'm going to go under 2. All right, Jimmy G, over under 2 interceptions. Spitface.
Under.
I'm going to say for Jimmy G, after, we talking about, I'm going to go over. I'm going to go over. Mahomes, over under 1 interception. All right, Mahomes. I'm going to say under. Dizzy Mac has over. Spitface?
I'm going with the over.
Okay. All right. Joe B, over under 2 interceptions. Dizzy Mac has under. Spitface?
I'm going with the under.
That means he has to have 3 interceptions. Well, we know how that offensive line.
Well, I went with the under, yeah.
Yeah, I know. You went with the under. We know Joe Burrows now. He doesn't throw when he's being sacked. He just takes that sack. So I'm going to say under also. The Rams defense, over under 2 sacks. I'm going to say over. Dizzy Mac has over. Spitface?
Under.
Okay, you think Jimmy G's going to get away, huh? Okay, 49ers defense, over under 2 sacks. Dizzy Mac has over. Spitface?
Under.
Under. 49ers, let's see. I can't remember their defensive line, 2 sacks. I'm going to say over. Chief defense, over under 4 sacks. Spitface?
Under.
Yeah, that one. I want to say under. I think the producers gave us something. That's a lot of sacks to have 5 sacks. It's possible because we know what
Bengals gave up 8 last week.
Who gave up 8 last week?
Bengals.
Oh, that's right.
They gave up, and the week before that, they gave up like 4-5. But I'm still going with the under.
We talking about. Oh yeah, that's right. How could I forget? Let me read. I still think that I don't remember the front line for the Chiefs being people that get after the quarterback. I can't remember right now. But heck, the way that offensive line is, anybody can get after Burrows. You know what? Now I'm gonna say under. Bengals defense, over under 2 sacks. I'll say under. Spitface?
Okay, for the I'm gonna go over.
You can go with the over. All right. Chief defense, 4 sacks. Could they get? I'm changing the over. I'm gonna change mine to over for Chiefs defense. Over under 4 sacks. They gonna. I forgot. You're right. They got. I'm gonna go over on that one. All right, moving along. Rams over under 150 yards rushing.
I'm going with over.
You're going with over. Okay, the Rams. I'm gonna go with. Who's the Rams running game? Cam Akers, right? He fumbled the ball so many times. I'm going to go over. Chiefs over running 165 yards rushing. I got to get with Dizzy Mack because he forgot to do that one. Spitface, what are you going to use? What are you going to say?
Under.
Yeah, I'm going to go with under. They don't run the ball that much. 49ers over under 200 yards rushing. Spitface?
Let's see. And, you know what? Over.
Yeah, I'm going with over because that's all they're going to do. Jimmy G ain't going to get a chance to throw the ball too much. Dizzy Mack has under. Bengals over under 150 yards rushing. I'm going to go with over. Dizzy Mack has under. Spitface?
I'm going with the under.
Oh, okay. You're going with the under. Okay, these are our option choices. We got optional choice. One maximum bet. You only can do one option, and you can bet up to $1 million minimum. Well, what is it? The maximum bet is 2.5 million points. All right, and these are the choices: Bengals versus Chiefs. Over, under 1 missed field goals. 49ers versus Rams. Over, under 2 fumbles. Bengals versus Chiefs. Over, under 1 pick 6. 49ers versus Rams. Over, under 1 pass interference. Dizzy Mack picked Bengals versus Chiefs with the pick 6. But he didn't tell me over and under, so I have to get Dizzy results. Spitface, what are you choosing? Or if you're
I'm going with Bengals versus Chiefs, and I'm going with the under.
For the pick 6?
Yep.
All right. I don't blame you. Under, that it ain't gonna be 2 pick 6. Yeah, that's an easy one there. 49. You know what? The pass interference. There's the 49ers and the Rams. The pass interference. So I got that last week, but it was only 2 pass interference in the whole game. So I am going to go with the pick 6 one too. I'm going to join y'all on that bandwagon, and I'm going to say under because I don't think there's going to be one pick 6 because we're talking about the Bengals and Chiefs. Now, if it had been the 49ers and the Rams, I would have gone with the pick 6. So I'm going to say
your
under.
faith in Jimmy G.
Yeah, my faith in Jimmy G. So I'm going to say under. Okay, so we'll see how everyone does, those over and unders, and we're talking about we coming down to the wire, and the stakes are getting higher because all those over and unders was 1 million points. So we'll see how we do next week. All right, Spitface, what is your top story to watch this week?
The top story to watch this week is, when will Tom Brady officially announce his retirement, and how soon afterwards do we learn that he becomes the president of the Miami Dolphins?
Huh? the president?
Stephen Ross is from Michigan. Tom Brady, Michigan. You know they Michigan men. They stick together.
Okay, all right. I had this top story too. Like you said, I'm not gonna pick another one. It was Tom Brady. When will he officially? Now, maybe he'll change his mind after the story leaked out because I think he's a little bit upset that story leaked out. Now, I don't know who Adam Scheffner and Darlington, I forgot his first name, I don't know who they were speaking to, because the agent really didn't deny it. The father said it's too premature. Tom had to call the Buccaneers to let them know that he hadn't made a decision. And everybody tweeted it out. Heck, I already put it on Facebook. I was the first one to put that on Facebook among my friends. So Tom may do a backflip and say, hell no, I ain't retiring. Y'all just looking too premature. But anyway, we shall see. Join us and our partners, the Veterans Women's Enterprise Center, as we honor our veteran women entrepreneurs. Please visit honorourveteranwomen.com. honorourveteranwomen.com. Check out our current and previous episodes at Panties and Sports.com and our Facebook page at BP and Sports. This is Cheryl Smith, the First Lady of Sports Talk and Spitface. You have been listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports.